I like that the liberals, instead of licking their wounds and doing an autopsy, have decided, you know what? There's a far greater enemy out here: trans people, undocumented immigrants, and the left. Okay, how are you any different than the Republican right then? Way.
Tough questions. Instead, the Obama crew that ran Kamala Harris' campaign went to the Obama bros, which were the speechwriters, the comms team.
Pod Save America.
Pod Save America, and this is what they had to say.
Dude, Pod Save America's they're eating it from every side, by the way. That's so funny. The left hates them because they're like, oh, you guys are establishment shills. And the right obviously hate them also because they're like, you're Democratic Party establishment shills. And the Democratic Party establishment hates them because they're like, oh, you're not loyal enough. Even though they have been. And they haven't really gotten enough in return for that loyalty either. Oh, Kamala Harris was refused by Sean Evans, by the way, which I thought was pretty funny.
We would do an interview, and the questions were small and processy and about like
dumb.
They were not informing a voter who was trying to listen to learn more or to understand. That does a disservice to voters, and being up against a narrative that we weren't doing anything or we were afraid to have interviews is complete. And also like took hold a little bit, and we just gave us another thing we had to fight back for that Trump never had to worry about.
Well, I mean, look, everyone could look back. This is the time to be honest. This is the only time.
You have nothing to lose.
That mode of midterms. But when she says she blames the people for asking small questions, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I blame the friendly questions that we got from friendly journalists.
Layups.
Where 77% of all the your coverage was positive. Where something like 85% of all Trump's was negative. And you blame the questions.
Dude, you want to know something crazy? Fox News is 100% right. I hate that I have to give it to Brian fucking Kill Myself of all people. It makes me want to say, I'm Brian Kill Me. But they are 100% right with this analysis. He's like, what are you now complaining that they were too nice to you? What the fuck? The media very rarely actually ask like adversarial questions. And I think it's partially because, you know, they paid the piper. They were fucking so unimaginably pro-corporate donors and pro-Israel that like, I think that's part of the process. The media was like, all right, you're playing ball. We got you. The problem is mainstream news, especially on the left, no longer has the same motion that it once did. The online content sphere is far too diversified and far too vast and far too successful. The audiences that are watching mainstream television are so fucking old. They're dying. And what is she going to do? Come on my show? I would have asked some big questions. No small ones.
If you get a question of what is it going to take to win, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Because if I know what it takes to win and what my vision is, thank you for the easy question. I will take advantage of it. You know it with your book interviews. If someone says, tell me about Under His Wings, you can't be like, what a bad question.
Right.
I'm going to tell any books. You say, okay, I'm going to tell you about the content of it. It is an opportunity.
Oh my God. He's actually cooking. What the fuck is going on? I mean, he's literally right. He's like, you're complaining about the fucking stupid questions? No. Wait, what the fuck? Peter Griffin bears it all while eating spicy wings. Popular YouTube show host Hot Ones turned down Kamala Harris pre-election interview request. I wonder if any of them, the team guesting on PSA, made the call to have you removed from the DNC. No, Kamala's campaign was actually in favor of me being at the DNC to begin with. It was the actual DNC that did not like it. It was Jamie Harrison's side that was very agitated about it. And as far as I understand from the people that I talked to and the people that I heard from, it was the straw that broke the camel's back was my anger towards not having a Palestinian speaker. Would you go on Hot Ones? Yes, dude, of course. Sean Evans is my mortal enemy, okay? But I would go on Hot Ones for sure. Why wouldn't I? I'd love to go on Hot Ones. Yeah, I said it was some real Israel behavior by the DNC.
Opportunity to show yourself. And what she missed is an opportunity to hop on the podcast. They keep on debating the Joe Rogan podcast. It's the format. The format is, I'm not really going to ask you about what you did or Joe Biden. I'm going to ask you about you. And are you comfortable talking besides recipes? What else makes you up?
Yeah.
Why did you get married late? What went into those decisions?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in San Francisco, with a single parent? So that's when you have an opportunity over the course of 3 hours to show your personality. Trump did it, but the format worked for Trump. Andrew Schultz and these guys, they were funny.
That's when he's his best.
He's self-effacing. Yeah. So if you are self-effacing and you have a degree of humility, that's why you love the format.
No. Donald Trump is not self-effacing at all. He is funny. He's telegenic. But no, he's not self-effacing. What are you talking about, dude? I feel like these guys genuinely, like, saying Trump experiences or exhibits humility is so mind-boggling to me. Like, we are living on an alternative plane of existence, dude. You are not living on planet Earth. I'm sorry. You are fucking out of your mind. What are you talking about? He's never demonstrated humility at all. The only difference is Trump is honestly dishonest, okay? He comes across as earnest in his dishonesty. He's like, yeah, I'm a scumbag, but I'm your scumbag. That's it. Whereas Democrats, even if they're being honest, come across as fucking dishonest. They're so scared. They're meek. They're insincere. They come across as technocratic elitists.
And then you hop in with 60 Minutes. You answer some questions circuitously, and they make you seem smart.
Yeah.
They edit your answers, and you're still complaining, and then you were scared to do an interview. Don't lie about it. You didn't put her in front of the cameras till after the DNC.
Yeah.
So true. Emily, they blamed Trump, actually, when it came to that. They said, look, they were actually trying to do the interview that same day that Trump did it in Houston, but they just really couldn't make it work. It's to Brian's point, though, they really didn't want to do the interview. There were people within the campaign staff that didn't think that she would shine, A. And number two, as James Carville made it very clear, the young people on the campaign, the crazy, blue hair, purple hair.
Don't do Rogan.
They said, don't do Rogan.
That's right. And the thing is,
The handshake coming from the fucking liberal mainstream media outlets and the stupid ass Fox News and the rest of the right-wing circuit is so frustrating. They're all in unison saying the same shit. Every single one of your parents, you're going to see them. If you haven't seen them already, you're going to see them in the upcoming days. They are going to repeat the exact same dumbass talking points to you because both the Republican side and the liberal side, if you're over the age of 45, if you're over the age of 50, you're watching television, and Television Man is saying the exact same shit. I like that the liberals, instead of licking their wounds and doing an autopsy, have decided, you know what? There's a far greater enemy out here, trans people, undocumented immigrants, and the left. Okay, how are you any different than the Republican right then?
for someone that effectively attempted to have us believe in her as a leader, and by the way, she was the current vice president this entire time, and yet remains unchallenged. To your point about all of these interviews, everything she said was never challenged. She never had a follow-up question. Contrast that with President Trump during a debate where everyone said it was 3-on-1. Everything he said was challenged, twisted, manipulated, and pushed back. She had every softball, every option, every opportunity, every time. And yet she wants us to believe that she's the victim, that the scheduling didn't work out, that she can't make something work. And yet you want me to put my faith in you as a commander-in-chief? You think I can trust you with the nuclear codes, with diplomacy, with representing me on the national and global stage, and you can't even articulate the answer to a softball question as to economic policy or why you flip-flop.
She should have never did the rally in Houston. There was no shot in winning Texas. There was absolutely no shot. It would have been more beneficial to the campaign to do the interview than do that rally in Texas. They had this, just like the poll that was released days before Iowa. There was no shot in winning Iowa. Everyone knew it. It was an outlier. Instead, they wanted the voters. They said the same thing about Florida. There's a shot. We're seeing some movement. Ron DeSantis has dominated in Florida for the last election cycle, okay? Midterms and his governor's race. So there was no data to suggest.
What about who the Dems put in charge versus who the Republicans put in charge? Like, Trump picks are insane. No Dem presidents ever had picks like that. Yeah, no. Democrats put more competent pieces of shit in positions of power, whereas the Republicans put direct monsters in positions of power. But I don't know why you're even bringing that up. I mean, there's no argument here. Yes, Democrats will bring about a more moderate, a managed fascism as opposed to the Republican Party that wants this volatility of full tilt fascism. Democrats are there to always there to either normalize Republican positions or restructure the government, maybe pick up some of the pieces that the Republicans destroyed, but never fully actually clawing back all of the gross power transfers that the Republicans engaged in, or the exchange of resources or deregulation that the Republican Party put in place. If you don't want the Republicans to put fucking assholes into positions of power, and I certainly don't want that, then you have to run a good race. You have to be a competent competent politician even before the race. This is what is frustrating about this process. I don't want Donald Trump to win. I didn't want Donald Trump to win. I made that very clear. But the reality is, I was frustrated with the Democrats because they were going to lose to Donald Trump. They were making a very dangerous gamble. And it turns out I was right. Even though towards the end, I was like, maybe there's an opportunity here, slight opportunity, even though I favor Trump winning the popular vote. My dad is currently watching you for the first time on CNN. He doesn't know that I watch you. Oh, shit. Tell me what he thinks about the piece.
Yes, that they had a path there, right. But they were telling people this to try to excite. Just like at the convention, Brian, they said there was so much joy. There was no joy. No one liked her. And we saw it at every swing state when she lost every single swing state.
Right. So I think there's a lot there. I just think that finally, the question that destroyed her campaign, and everyone agrees, was, how are you different than Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So by
Sonny Hostin.
So in retrospect, the questions were too simple. You can't get simpler than that. Yeah. If you can't hit an underhand pitch,
it's a layup.
Why should I give you a fastball?
Exactly. Gosh,
this is true.
Nailing it.
Wow.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch.
Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.